Oh, you thought that your rate was based on how you drive? No, it's not. It's about your zip code, your job, your education, and your age. Not because you've ever had a car crash or received a speeding ticket. No, it's just because some insurance company's algorithm decided that you're a problem. You're not a driver to them. You're a risk profile. And guess what? You just got priced out of protection. Let's talk about it. If you think big insurance, aka Big Pharma's cousin, is asking for your zip code, age, gender, job title, and education just to get to know you, well, think again because you've already been profiled. And what's worse, they're not just collecting your information, they're running it through hidden algorithms that determine how much you're worth before they even see your driving record. So you're being judged, priced, and penalized based on where you live, what you do for a living, and how you look on paper. It's not called discrimination anymore. It's called a risk score. But let's call it what it really is: profiling, bias, and digital redlining. Here's what happens when you fill out the application to get a quote for insurance, online or in person. It really feels innocuous, it feels harmless. They ask for your zip code, right? Your age, your level of education, and what you do for a living. But what they're doing behind the scenes is building what they call a risk profile that determines if you're worth the risk, not based on how you drive, not based on your claims history, but based on statistical stereotypes and neighborhood data. If you live in a working class zip code, well, your rate is higher. If you didn't go to college, your rate is higher. If your job isn't in the preferred professions, your rate is higher. And if you're under 25, but over 65, single or male, you're considered risky by default. Now, this is where redlining comes in. Back in the 1930s, banks and insurers drew literal red lines around neighborhoods, especially Black and immigrant communities, and then they labeled them too risky for coverage or loans. Fast forward to today. They're not using red markers anymore. They're using zip codes, algorithms, and application forms. This is modern day redlining in action. Same discrimination, same outcome, just hidden in a digital wall and called underwriting. You're not just being quoted, guys, you're being filtered. Now, this is where it gets extremely egregious and nefarious as far as I'm concerned, because they are judging you on non driving factors. Big insurance uses these things to judge you. They use your zip code. They charge you more for living in high risk areas, regardless of your personal record. Then there's your education. If you didn't attend college, you're often considered higher risk. Then there's your occupation. Now, blue collar jobs may increase rates while white collar ones reduce your rates. Then there's your credit score, used in almost every state to determine premiums, even if you've never missed a payment. Now, don't forget about gender and age. You are penalized for things that you cannot control. And then there's the marital status. If you're single, I guess it means you're more reckless. At least that's what the algorithm thinks. Now, all of this is buried somewhere in the application, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your actual driving history. And of course, we're not talking about common sense stuff like you're too young to drive or too old to drive. Of course, we're talking about legal people of age to drive that haven't had any accidents, or people that have grown older or aged gracefully and are being penalized with high fees just because the insurance company, you fit a profile that you may have an accident. Quite frankly, anyone at any point can have an accident. That's a no-brainer. And to keep it 100, and if the truth be told, this isn't about coverage at all. It's about control. Big insurance profits by minimizing risk. And the fastest way to do that is to quietly filter out the people that they really don't want to cover. They don't actually say no. They just make it so expensive or confusing that you just opt out on your own. And most people never really know why. They think it's their fault. But the truth is, the system is built this way. It's discrimination wrapped in a quote. See, claims warriors, it's not just about what happened to you. You have to know the why. And trust me, the why is wild, because apparently what you do for a living now determines whether or not you can safely operate a motor vehicle. Oh, you're a teacher? Great. Lower rates. Nothing against teachers now. But you're a truck driver or construction worker? Yikes. Sounds risky to them. And don't even get me started on education. Since when does your degree decide whether or not you'll pay your bills or follow traffic laws? It's not logic, guys. It's bias. It's digital discrimination dressed up in actuarial tables. And it's time that people stop accepting it as just how insurance works. At the Claims Ninja, guys, we expose big insurance for the unwarranted, unfair, unethical nonsense they're pulling. Rather, it's a denied claim, a lowball payout, or charging you double for living on the wrong block. So, yeah, this isn't just broken, it's rigged. And until more people speak up, nothing's going to change. So, yes, write your senator, email your rep, and tell them to stop letting corporate data biases price people out of protection. And if no one's fighting for you guys, we are. So don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share the video, because this world of claims is war. And here at the Claims Ninja, we train warriors to fight back. So as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Claims Ninja. And I will see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.